welcome back to Thrive Yoga Fit Transformational Coaching. This is Erin. So, you may notice if you're tuning in through video today on YouTube that I have a plethora of guests. I made some friends, and I have some online guests as well. So these guests are attendees of the most recent Coach School. Today is our last day. And I thought it would be really awesome if we could get a podcast and get an interview with everybody about their experience. So, hello everyone, say hello.
Hello.
I'd like to first just get a little introduction of each person, and then we'll go on to talk about the unique experience that is Thrive Coach School. So let's start with our online friends. So Marissa, can you give just a little introduction? Just tell everybody who you are and what brought you to Coach School.
Hello, my name is Marissa. I am from Canada, and I came to Coach School because I came upon Erin, and there's a lot of signs in listening to her work and her podcast that made me feel like meeting her and connecting with this community was really, really important.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marissa. And Susan, hello.
Hi, everybody. My name is Susan. I live in Arizona. So hello to all of you in Florida and Canada. I came across Erin when I lived in Florida. She was my yoga teacher and also my life coach during a time in my life that I really needed some support and some tools and techniques just to get through that tough spot. So I really connected with her. Now that I live in Arizona, I am, just still evolving and learning a lot about myself and transforming. So I thought, who better to go through a life coach course with? When Erin was my life coach, honestly, the transformation that she helped me with was just so impactful. And I thought, what a better way to give to other people was to spend some time to actually learn what she did and how she helped me so that I can work toward doing the same. So thank you, Erin.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, so let's go down the line. And Erin, why don't we start with the person that shares my name?
Okay, I am the other Erin, the half a yogi Erin. I am from Florida. I live here. I'm a mom of 2 little boys. I came to Coach School to undo some family trauma, find a new way.
Awesome. Thank you, Erin. And I'll go down the line with Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I know Erin from yoga and roller derby, and she was my life coach. I had significant changes in my life after coaching with Erin. So I'm here at Coach School to have more changes, go through some more stuff, get it out, and also to learn the tools so that I can help other people.
Hey. Thank you, Robin. Anna.
Hi. I came across, I got the introduction of meeting Erin through a mutual friend we have through Prosper Bradenton.
Little plug, Prosper Bradenton, best gym in Bradenton.
When you can tell that the universe is trying to speak to you and you need a change, then you just do it. And it's been a heck of a past week here. And I'm happy I'm doing it. Keep it going.
Happy to have you. Awesome. Thank you, Anna. And Daisy.
Hello. In a space in the month of April this year, I have a friend that lives very close to the studio, and I was going through one of the hardest times of my life, and I had a week off, and she said, just get down here, you need to meet Erin. And I took a yoga class with Erin and met her, and that's how I learned about the coaching school, and I just knew there was something in the energy there. I knew that I needed to do it, and I'm here 8 days later and it's where I needed to be. Definitely. Very, very happy that I was here and meeting all these wonderful people and spending time with
You're
you.
very like snuggled up against right now.
Yeah.
We're pretty close this week.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love here.
There is. And then Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben.
Hello.
They call me Bronco Ben.
That's his nickname now.
Some of them. I met Erin quite a few years back. Went on a retreat with her, and then she was coaching me for a little while. It was phenomenal. And when the coaching school came about, I couldn't say no. I knew that the career I was in right then and there, running my own business, it was great, but not hitting the right note. And so now we're seeing where we go with this. So if anyone wants a coach, I mean, you got a handful of them right here, I think.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So this, each coach course, just like each yoga teacher training, has their own energy, their own character. Like you come in as individuals and you kind of form the course, right? Like as far as the order of which I teach things, it really depends on how you guys are showing up and what you're presenting to me. There was another curveball that was thrown to me, which was me having food poisoning my last 2 days in Costa Rica. And I do have this thing about me where I like to take like a big vacation, have like 2 days off, and then bam, go right into coach school. It works for me usually. It usually works for me really well. It refreshes me, recharges me. I drop into this sort of God space and I'm able to do what I do best. Completely refresh and recharge. Well, this time was a little bit different. So last 2 days I was in Costa Rica. I had terrible food poisoning. I mean, I had to get IVs. I had to get 3 of them total. I came back here still sick, and I'm just like, I'm like laying in bed, and every day I'm like, I'm not getting better, or I'm like getting like this much better. And I couldn't eat, and all the things, lovely things that go with food poisoning. And I told everybody in this group I'm going to share it on this podcast because I want everybody to share sort of like their experience and their takeaway. But also I want everybody to know that leading these courses helps my growth. We evolve as a Sangha, a Kula, a spiritual community. And what I have learned this coaching course was a deeper level of how to hold space around pain. Not just little pain, big fucking pain. And not just hold space around it and be like, ugh. Hold space around it and be able to be present for you guys, because my hang up, I'm like, oh gosh, should I go forward with this? Should I go forward with this? And I was like, man, I finally wrangled Ben and Robin, and they're in the course, and like, cause I know your schedules are crazy. So I was like, all right, no, I have my collection of people. This feels right. And being able to hold space around that pain brought me to a new level of presence with you guys. And because I was able to hold that present space for you, I was able to teach and channel from that space and help you to find your truth. But also in my own personal life, I'm very open on my podcast. It's like my very public diary. So I'll say a lot of these tools I had been applying not very easily, but like more easily in like a, obviously coach course, with my coaching clients, at my studio, with my friendships, pretty much in every aspect of my life except for my romantic relationship. What would happen is I would go home, and the space I was holding around whatever pain, I was being present with people, and I was really like walking the walk. When I would come home, that would come off. And I was still doing my practices. For example, I'd show up for meditation, I would show up for yoga, and I would be present during that time and during like my mindfulness practices. But like when I would show up for my partner, I would be very pulled into my own pain. And we have had a lot come to the surface during this course that I'm incredibly grateful for. Just like relationship manual stuff that I teach you guys about, as far as coming into a relationship and having projected roles that you feel like you should play and the other person should play. And I was doing that in my relationship. And so I just wanted to start off as far as like, why did I come to coach school? Well, I came and I showed up for you guys. But because I chose to show up with that big challenge, it changed me. And now I can teach from that space much more skillfully, knowing that whatever discomfort I have in my body, whether it's a big discomfort or a little discomfort, I can pause and hold compassionate space around it, and I can still show up. And you guys can attest that I showed up as like we checked in every day, and they were so sweet. They're like, are you a 5 today? Do we have a 5? Because I came in, I was like, yo, I'm a 4. Mm-hmm. Like I want to be a 10, but I am a 4. I'm a solid 4. And then like Erin, like my other half, my E-Dizzle, she'd be like, are you a 5 today? And like, are you a 6? And like, just with so much compassion and love. But like, this coach course, this group was so accepting, so loving, and maybe I created that sort of like safety to help you feel that way, but like you showed up. Like, you guys are fucking awesome. So anyways, this course has been transformational for me, and I'm super happy to have everybody on the podcast. So let's start with Susan, actually. So talk about how the coach course, I guess, met your expectations, maybe went beyond, and maybe what's something that you're taking away that maybe you didn't expect?
Okay, so I just want to share with you, Erin, first of all, thank you again for everything. I've not told Erin this story because it just happened today. So this morning I woke up with a stiff neck. I actually could not like roll out of bed. It was excruciating, and I don't have body aches. I don't have pains in my body ever. I'm healthy. But we've been doing some shadow work, and Erin has been helping me, not just, just with a lot of things, but really integrating and meeting my teenager self. So because my teenage self has a lot of rejection, that's kind of come into my adult life. And it's been getting in my way of continuing all the amazing successes that I've had. But all of a sudden, sometimes in life, these things from our past kind of creep in. So that's kind of been some of the work that I've been doing as I'm learning to be a coach, but also we're always healing ourselves. And so that just kind of revealed itself today. So I had this stiff neck. I could barely get out of bed. I show up, we always do yoga in the morning with Erin and some deep breathing techniques, which is phenomenal. And I couldn't get into the poses because I couldn't lay back. And when Erin had us all lay back, I remembered that she said to me about my teenage self that I have your back, and about my adult self having my teenagers back, right? I have your back. So even though there were poses I couldn't do this morning, I kept trying to just, do some alternative poses until I could get into those poses. And I actually had my hands behind my head as she had us. And I just kept saying to myself, I have your back. I have your back. And all of a sudden, again, this was an hour-long yoga. This is not something that was super quick. But I started to have this conversation with my teenage self and my adult self. And it was very visceral. It was very real. Anyways, I won't keep going on and on, but the encounter with my teenage self, meeting my adult self today, was really powerful. So I just want to thank you for that. And the funny thing is that my teenage self really loved animals, and I have a dog. And so I couldn't wait to come out of the yoga poses because I have a dog. And so I had my teenage self meet my dog, and she was very teary-eyed and very happy. So I'm excited this afternoon to go and hang out with my dog, with my teenage self. So anyways, it was just, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, Erin, but truly as this is why I am working on becoming a life coach. And because the work that you do, I'm a mental health professional. I'm a school counselor. I've been doing this for a really long time. But to learn your techniques and to learn the tools that you have is so different and so unique and just incredibly powerful. I just can't say that enough. I don't understand how or why. I'll keep learning about that, but truly transformational. Beautiful.
Also say that, it's interesting that it was your neck, because like the whole throat chakra thing. But the fact that
the
you're
whole time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole time, this whole even past years, right? You were like, where do you feel it? Where do you feel it? Where do you feel it? And then today it was like, boom.
Got to end big, saying you got to end it with a bang. So, Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Susan. Marissa, tell us about your experience and I guess maybe how coach school was a little bit different than what you expected.
I, again, sort of struggle to find the words to explain just how impactful and meaningful this week has been to me. I remember stumbling upon Erin and, interviewing for the coach school shortly after she'd done her August coach school last year. And at that time, I was so excited. It, exhilarated all these senses in me. And of course, over the last year, I started getting in my own thoughts and spiraling about it and doubts. And I'm just so glad that I showed up to it, because even attending virtually, it has really brought to light a lot of things in myself I know I've been hiding from, as well as breaking down the tools and methods to continue working on myself, as well as growing my relationships and helping others too, which being a good friend is definitely a role I've over identified with. And it's helped me bring to light maybe some less than honorable intentions in my friendships. So I'm excited to connect fully. Essentially, before this, I would say I really did not believe in love at all in any capacity. But being able to take down some walls and truly feel feelings this week, which another thing I have said over my life is I don't want to feel feelings. Not the best mantra, of course, by any means. And awakening just the care and connection for these humans, it is different for me.
It's nice to know you. It's I think everybody, like, maybe they come in with a little bit of a wall or expectations of what this should be, and the vulnerability and the sharing is one of the most important parts of us connecting, because like to say, a lot of people, they want this image of perfection, and perfection might get you admiration, but it won't necessarily get you connection, right? So I appreciate you being vulnerable, and as the course went on, getting more and more vulnerable. And then it is very beautiful that it's like the more that we kind of open up those tender and like dark spots of ourselves that we believe we had to hide for so long, and you open that up to others, and you're like, please don't judge me. And they're like, oh no, I love you more now. Like I see that. Oh, that's like mine, right? So I think that process and I'm that helps me to connect with people, and I know how powerful that process is. But the fact that you guys are like, okay, let's talk about our feelings and get uncomfortable. Like I need your participation, because otherwise I'm like, guys, I've told you every dark secret I have, and you're just sitting there like, it's fine. So thank you so much for opening up the way that you have, and letting us love you. Oh, thank you, Marissa. All right. Who wants to go next? Anna?
Nope.
Okay.
You just offered me up. Okay. Other Aaron first.
Other Aaron.
Can you focus me back on the question? You want me to tell you about my
Yeah, for sure.
expectations
Yeah.
and
So we talked a little bit about what brought you to coach school, but I guess how was the experience for you? And maybe how was it different? Because, for example, when I interview people for yoga teacher training, I can't tell you how many. If I had a nickel for every time somebody's like, well, I can't do headstands and handstands, I'm like, if you knew how to do all that stuff, like, why would you come to my training, right? So everybody has a different idea of what like a training should be or is going to be. So I guess what the training was like for you, your experience, and how it was different than what you thought it was going to be.
Oh, so different than what I thought it was going to be. Okay. So I will say that like I sort of have this pattern my whole life of being able to show up for others more readily than I can show up for myself. So what brought me here was a desire to find some ways to help my children and my family. And what I discovered was that my body is alive. And like I've always lived from like here and like these thought patterns, and Aaron calls it like my record player. And I've never done yoga until this, and it's uncomfortable, but like in the right way, because the message is always to stay with it and to stay with yourself. And through the breathing techniques and things that we learned, I found that like I am a living, breathing like vessel, which has made me have a completely different connection to my body and allowed me to feel like more in control of my life and my path. On day one, Aaron told us that we were all going to become best friends and that these people were going to be our new spiritual community. And I have to be honest that I was like, I left here on day one and I'm like, I don't know if that's going to happen, right? Like we're all so different and we come from different places. And there was this point one day, probably my most uncomfortable day, that just all changed for me. And I love and care about all of these people here in a very deep way. So, yeah.
I love what you said about like that your body is this like breathing, living vessel. Can you talk just a little bit more about that? Because that makes my heart want to open up so wide, because a lot of us walk around throughout the day and we think we're in our body, but we're really not. We're disconnected. And I mean, I lived most of my life just completely disconnected from my body. My body was a burden. My body was a thing to be controlled. My body was a thing that would rebel against me and that I had no idea of how to work with. And what you said about your body becoming alive, can you just talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's like one of those hard things that's like difficult to explain. And but I my husband, he's been really kind and like asking how my day goes, and so I've been trying to sort of explain to him. But I don't think I've ever had a connection to my body until now. And I think where I find it most is like when we're doing the breathing techniques and you the feeling, like there's a sensation, there's a movement, there's an energy within you that I've never felt before. And I don't know what kind of words you're allowed to use on a podcast.
Oh, you can curse all you want.
Can I say?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, even the connection, like in the bedroom, like holy smokes, when you realize that your body is alive in a vessel, it makes a lot of changes. Yeah.
So for no other reason, you'll have better sex if you come to my course.
That's the whole reason I'm
That's why we're
Number
all
one
right.
priority.
I didn't want to say that's why I'm really here.
We can be done now. Just cut.
Cut, mic drop. Well, thank you so much, Erin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robin, you're here.
Yes, I'm here.
Yay. So tell us about your experience, maybe about like what kept you from Coach Course a little bit, because I found it interesting. Maybe our little convo, if you want to go there, and then how it was different.
Yeah, so I think I text Aaron yesterday that this was way less scary than my mind had told me it was going to be. I think my expectations, I was making a lot of excuses for not coming because I was truly afraid that people were going to see a dark part of me and not accept it, and I was going to be rejected. I felt like I just didn't deserve to be here, that I couldn't possibly help somebody else. And what I learned is that we're all on our own journey. And actually by opening up and saying the dark things that are there, I learned that other people have those same darkness, and we're all going through it together. And I wasn't rejected, I was supported. I also think like the yoga and the breathing and really opening up my body, I was actually able to learn so many of the tools and practice them that I actually now feel like I could possibly help somebody.
Imagine that.
And
You helped me.
I think we all, the practices, so practicing the tools together, I think at first is very awkward, and we're all self-conscious and like awkward. But you learn through that process that you can actually help each other. So while, kind of that practice portion is like, oh, am I doing it right? It also helps it really built my confidence. I think one thing I did not expect at all from this experience was my physical changes and I think I was just walking around disconnected from my body. My body was in pain. I had a headache. I had a headache for, I don't know, at least 3 months, maybe longer. Stomach ache. I think I told Daisy at one point, I felt so bad, I thought I was convincing myself I had cancer. But I just felt like that was just the way it was going to be. And through processing my emotions, opening up my body, breathing. I probably wasn't breathing. All of my physical things have actually gone away. I don't have a headache. My GI system is balanced. My body is not in pain. My eyes feel open and awake. So that has been my experience.
That is really special and awesome. And you said, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about how connected you feel to your body. Like you feel like in your core that you are with yourself.
Yeah, so that was yesterday, doing the So-Hum breathing, which I really enjoy and feel like it really opens me up. But yes, I got just drawn in. It was such an amazing feeling. It's so hard to put into words.
So they just need to sign up and take the course.
Yeah, this really
No way around
strong connection. Yeah, it's amazing.
Two things I just want to comment on is, one of the reasons why this course is so special, well, everybody that comes here, it customizes the course based on what your needs are. And I'm very sensitive to that because of how many years I've been doing this. But before you study spiritual scripture, you come into a place of presence. This is yoga, Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Now is the practice of yoga. We come into the now to understand it and to understand each other. And so the reason why I incorporate the asana and the pranayama and the meditation is because when you are present, then the work can begin, because then you see who you really are and you can witness your patterns, you can observe them rather than being caught in them. And I'm no exception. That is for me too. So I just wanted to say that. And by the way, we are living spiritual scripture. You are. So the second part was what you said about the awkwardness. Like, now that you say that, like, I remember, like, all right, now you're going to coach each other. And you guys are just like, wait, what?
Okay.
I guess. And I said, no, I'm throwing you in the deep end. I realize this, but you have your clear form. You had like one other technique. But then watching the process of evolution, how, yes, it was awkward. I knew it was, but you guys had enough like love for each other and trust and willingness to go there. And then by the end, like me, like peeking in and just like kind of like, you know, eavesdropping a little bit on your coaching sessions and just watching you bust out the techniques and then watching you be so present with each other and like just navigate each other. I was so proud. And then we would have our shares and about like, how many techniques did you use, girl? Okay. So, yeah, thank you everybody for your willingness and for your trust. You know, not just in me, but in yourselves. That made the difference. So thank you, Robin. Anna. Hi.
Hi.
So tell me about your experience at Coach School, and then maybe about how it was different than how you expected, or maybe a highlight.
Oh, we could go on for days with highlights right now. Honestly, this has been awakening. When you think that you have, you know, your own techniques and just ways of, you know, navigating your own thoughts, you know, those creepy little ones that get you in the back of your head, like, you're being judged, all those things. Super fun, awkward, right? Well, it turns out there are ways to navigate it. The tools that, wow, just, how do you even put words to this?
I know, it's difficult, but
you get some new tools for your belt with this course, and I didn't even know that I needed them. But it's been a roller coaster, and I could almost cry right now. But don't look at me. Yeah, this has been well worth my time, and now I have family. So
You do.
yeah.
So what was like a highlight of the course for you? If there's like one little snapshot that might stand out for you, what would that be?
I think it was when me, Ben, and Daisy were in that room. The three of us had to coach each other. Okay.
That was good.
I heard a lot of laughing
That was
come
good
from
stuff.
the room.
The you know, the dropper technique.
Yeah.
First off, wow, you guys are like poets. Okay, you're good at that. But I think we got it all on the table initially. Like, this is really awkward, and each one of you were like, "Yeah, I feel that way too."
Yeah.
So then we were able to. Then poetry came out. We already just laid it on the table. And that's kind of what we've been doing this whole week with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, even in Canada and Arizona.
Yeah.
So just laying it on the table, and here it is. This is me, and I know that you're not going to judge it. So thanks.
Yeah, the vulnerability allows it's like, okay, let's just get this, you know, out of the way. This is awkward, blah, blah, blah. Like the vulnerability then, like, okay, now I can drop into my space. I know I'm not being judged. And when you have enough safety to be yourself, magic happens.
That's when you finally dial in and connect with your own mind, body.
When you can do that, then you can do it with others. So, but until you can have that connectedness and that presence with you, for me, I can't coach nearly as well as I can when I am in a state of presence. And certainly the magic that I can do and that you can do, because now you know the difference. And that's another thing in this coach course is like there is a huge, I guess, importance put on being in that space of presence of the yoga aspect of it. Because if you are talking to a coach and they're in their head, they're not seeing the whole you. And as I've said in this course, when you coach, you're not just coaching their thoughts. Your body is communicating with theirs. Your heart is communicating with theirs. It doesn't matter if there's a screen or if you're in person, you can still do it. And when you just coach from your head, there is an entire universe that you're leaving out of wisdom to help you in that process of intuition. We talked about how I knew, by the way, when Erin was coming in and I called it, she's incredibly intuitive. And one of the most beautiful things I saw her do in the course is to let go of her guard around letting her go into that space and be the fantastic person that she is. Yeah, like so much talent there. And that's one of the things too, is like, I will call you out on that. Like, stop hiding.
Yeah. No, you can't hide from Erin.
Yeah. If you try, I'll read your body and I'll read your face. I'll read your posture and then I'll read your heart. So, but I do it in the name of service, right? I use my forces for good. So, yeah, the connection. And that's why, like, I feel like my coaching and this whole process is very intimate, you know, like we're all like buddy on the couch, you know, like we hang out, we talk about our depths. And I mean, there may be other ways to do it, but that's how I do it. So, and I think that everybody feels a lot closer and like family afterwards. So thank you, Anna. Daisy, talk about your experience in coach school and maybe a highlight or how it was different than you expected.
Well, I'll start with when I knew was thinking about doing this, I was talking to someone that had taken it, Kayla, and she goes, "This is going to change your life." And I remember thinking, I believe you, but you know, what does that really mean?
Yeah, that's a big statement.
Yeah. So we've learned that growth lies in discomfort, and this was extremely uncomfortable at first and awkward, but it's vulnerability. It's like, this is my story, and these have been the belief systems I've been walking around with based on, we all have stuff, right? We all have stuff, a lot of stuff. Nobody doesn't have stuff from their past or their present. But just being able to live in that truth and talk about it with each other. And I was already a believer in the mind-body connection, but the breath work and breathing into the trauma and being able to physically let it go has been absolutely amazing. And just one other thing, the relationships that we have with others and being able to be clear about boundaries. It doesn't matter what type of relationship, but boundaries. And I think we all walk around with expectations of friendships, be it platonic or romantic or whatever. It doesn't, or in the workplace, that we don't realize at first that that friend or that partner doesn't know of those expectations, and so that a lot of negative things come out of that. So, you know, there was a lot of learning and growth around that as well. And what did I not expect? I didn't expect to leave like just loving everybody.
So great.
It's just amazing. So thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
You're saying it is life-changing?
Yes.
It is.
Yes, that has been proven, I think.
Thank you, Daisy. All right, we're getting cuddly.
Yeah.
All right, Ben. Ben, tell us about your experience at Life Coach School, at Thrive Coach School, and how it was different than what you expected, and maybe a highlight.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Nice.
Yeah, no. One of the highlights, I have to say, was a Soham breath. I mean, the breath work that's incorporated with life coaching, just they talk about the yoga aspect, the breath work, tapping in and being present with yourself so you can be present with the others. That's the moneymaker right there. That really is. You know, it's brought a lot of clarity into aspects of my life that, oh, by the way, I don't know what I'm getting ready to say, so we're just going to see what happens. It's brought a lot of clarity into my life in ways where, let's say, I'm knocking down walls. I'm removing certain blocks. And I, of course, you know, like I can shoot for a goal. I can have a door open. But being able to find out that there is no measurable goal that I cannot open. If I'm able to drop in, be present, remove some of the blocks that I have, I can manifest, I can search for my desires, I can become at any level I want to. There is no limit. And a lot of that has just come from within, knowing myself, being present, not walking around unconscious, because I've done that walk plenty of times, many times. And I guess you guys are pretty cool too.
You guys aight.
Yeah.
So how was the course different than what you expected?
How was it different? Cake? Oh, cake. Yes. Yes.
We celebrated his birthday.
Yes, that was back in June, but that's okay because it was needed to be celebrated, okay? Thank you guys.
June 21st.
Yes. Yes. I'll get a whole bunch of birthday gifts now.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. They'll be in the mail tomorrow.
Wonderful. How was it different? Well, this is kind of what I said in the beginning. I didn't expect the breath work and the yoga aspect into more of the life coaching, right? And I say that after I've been coached by Aaron. So like I should have expected it. I didn't expect how great of an effect it has, because that is such an important part of being able to be coached and coach someone else, is being present and comfortable, really.
Yeah, just thinking about my individual coaching, like I recommend that people do yoga all the time. And sometimes I'll give breath work homework, but also an inspiration from this course and hearing your feedback is very valuable for me, because I always want to grow and serve to the highest. It's like in my personal coaching courses, I think I'm going to make available more videos that people can access. For those of my people who are online, I have a lot of clients who are all over the world, internationally, Israel, Turkey. I'm really big in Australia for some reason. So if you're listening to this in Australia, hi, thank you. Hello. I think it's easy to underestimate the power of the physical practice and the breath, because it's like breath. You walk around, I'm breathing. Are you? Are you though? And pranayama, prana is the life force within us. Ayama is to lengthen. So breath control, lengthening, and not manipulating, I guess, like encouraging, coaxing the life force within us. And if you think that, physical pain, mental and emotional pain, it's stagnant energy. This is what I talked about in the yoga class I taught this morning. It's like, energy is energy, it's neutral. But when it's stagnant and when it's stuck, that's when we suffer, right? There's pain, and then we wrap a story around it. Oh, there's something wrong with me. Oh, like I can't do this right, blah, blah, blah. Like when you breathe and you do these yogic practices, it's out of the realm of the mind. And so you are manipulating and getting moving this stagnant energy. Sometimes when the energy is so stuck, so rigid, life just seems miserable and terrible, even if you have great things in your life, right? So I'm inspired by this course to maybe record more videos of myself, which I don't have any qualms about. It's just, I want to give, and hearing your feedback helps me to grow. And so it's so valuable for me. So thank you. I'm so grateful that you guys are willing to do this podcast, and I've made you so uncomfortable in so many ways. And then I'm like, hey, be on camera with me, like be on something that's going to be published for everyone to hear.
Good.
If somebody came up to you, or maybe they're listening to this and they have a hesitation as far as taking coach school, what would you say to them? What is something that you would say?
The hesitation is the reason to go to coach school. Like that's where I've done all the growth I've done, is in the uncomfortableness, the being uncomfortable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That hesitation, all the reasons why not, that's exactly the reason to go.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just, what are you running from?
Yeah.
I think we all tried to kind of cop out. I know I tried
Yeah.
like twice, kind of, but Because it's intimidating. It really is. It sounds like it's intimidating because it's the unknown. But I'm so happy that you hold us accountable, Erin.
I
thank
do.
you.
Yeah.
And you don't do it in a pushy way. You do it in such a... You can just feel your energy even coming through a text message that it's calling you. Like, come, you need to experience this and get that... Just be present.
Yeah. I am, I guess like the reason why it comes across the way it does when I give you that little nudge, as some of my students would say, is because I see your potential, and there is a love there, and I know what it feels like to suffer, and I know what it feels like to be stuck in your own misery and not know your own light anymore and forget who you are. And it's knowing that it can be different for you and seeing the work that I do, that you guys participate in, and seeing the change. If I didn't see people transform in my courses, I think I'd probably be like, all right, well, what's one day going to matter? That's why when somebody has to like miss, or we have to modify something, or if like last minute they're like, I don't know if I can, I don't know. I'm like, really? I was like, let's talk about it. How do you feel? Are you not showing up for yourself? And I don't have any qualms about it, because it is never about me. It's not about me. This is about your journey. So when you like throw down on my course, you are in my course, and you are like one of my little ducklings. And so I will protect you sometimes from yourself until like you're in, and then, oh, you're awake. Oh, you see what I've been talking about. Then when you're there, it's easier to kind of like keep you in and stay connected to your spiritual community. That is one key, is like, what I like to say, whether it's with me or with another spiritual community, open-hearted people that are seeking their truth. It's so important. But yeah, if you sign up for my course, just so you know, I don't let you wiggle out of it. I don't take bullshit excuses. And even if there's real excuses and sometimes life comes up, we find a way to make it work. We will modify and we'll get you through it. Because I care. like Anik said, check's already cashed. That doesn't matter. What matters is your transformation. I am invested and interested in your transformation. It's one of the best parts of what I do.
Yeah, so I actually think that that was instrumental in getting me here, because what I said to myself, well, if Erin thinks I'm good enough to be there and thinks I deserve to be there, why do I think I don't deserve that? So, yeah, that's a problem I need to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, and another thing is something I'd remind myself of when I needed to make a change is, do I really need to go through any more pain or suffering to want to change? I can either change while I'm in a good place, or I can wait for something bad to happen and say, okay, well, I guess since now I need to scrape myself up off the ground, I need to make it. No, I mean, I can do that right now when things are going well. See what can be even better.
Yeah, when you're not putting out fires in your life, like you can really build. So
that was another thing you said to me, Erin, was because one of my things was like, I'm comfortable. Like I just had a whole bunch of changes, and I finally feel comfortable in my life. And it was what you were saying, like that's the best time.
Yeah,
that is. And I will also like just maybe start to wrap up here. Marissa, did you have a thing to say? Okay, all right. She's just hi. It's never going to feel like the perfect time. There might be some better times than other times, but it will never feel like the exact perfect time. And you have to be honest to yourself if you've wanted to do something like this, but your brain keeps making up excuses. I can tell you that before I went to my life coach course, where I learned to become certified as a coach, I had 3 different conversations with the gal, and I hung up on her twice. I'm very proud of that. But she told me the cost, which, by the way, is like, I mean, now it's like quadruple what I charge. But at the time, it was double what I charge. And she told me the price. I was like, pfft, and I hung up because my brain's like, oh, I had to sit with it. I was like, oh, you're not worth that. You're not worth that. Or you don't know how this is going to turn out. And I had to like really sit with that. But there was something in my heart that kept pulling me. So if that is you and you're listening to this and you're like, I've wanted to do this for so long, like this is your sign. It will never be the perfect time. Your mind will always make excuses. I can tell you with ferocity and passion that I show up for people because I show up for myself as deeply as I can. I will show up for you in a way that maybe you've never experienced before. So
that makes me just kind of want to say, because I've thought this so many times over the last 8 days and never like vocalized it to you, but there was a couple times where like our children would get brought up and then you would say like, well, I don't have any, children, but, and I always thought to myself every time is like, to me, you have a whole lot of children. I mean that like in the deepest, most like loving way, because we come here and we like break it all down and it's hard, but like your voice and the energy and the love that you give us just in your presence, and like that is like, you're like Mama Yoga.
In the first couple days, I could see it in her eyes, looking into my eyes, like, oh, she's not going to let me bullshit my way through this at all. But, no, that's not going to work here.
It takes a special kind of love, I suppose, a bit fiery. So, I thank you so much for being here with me and sharing your experiences with all of our listeners on the podcast. Our work is not done here. We have 6 months ahead of us of a mentorship and a mastermind where we're going to grow and change together and just continue on with this work with accountability. So my next coach school is in January. It's from January 20th to the 27th. So if you're listening to this and you're interested, you can email me, Erin@erincoach.com. You can check out thriveyogafit.com and you can check out the coach certification. Should be up there. If not, just email me. We already have people signing up. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening. And thank you to my wonderful, beautiful guests.
Yay. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, Susan.
And I just wanted to also maybe just remind you of Costa Rica.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yes, I have to do a plug for Costa Rica. So I just announced this like last night. So I am doing a 200-hour intensive in Costa Rica. It is mixed gender. So it's not just for the ladies, because last time I did a retreat in Costa Rica, it was just for the ladies, and I had so many guys that were pissed at me. I even had like 3 of the guys at the studio that wanted to do a men's retreat, like, I don't know, somewhere. It sounds smelly to me. Anyways, but it's mixed gender. I rent out this huge ass mansion that costs me like a dime, let's just say. So we're going to go through pranayama techniques, the breathing techniques that everybody was talking about and falling in love with, meditation, asana, sequencing, philosophy, yoga sutras, like all the chanting and stuff. So the wisdom that I have that maybe you want the blanks filled in as far as like if you've either gone through my coaching course or you are just looking to become a yoga instructor, or this is open to because of the power of it and how comprehensive it is. If you are already certified even, like this is a course that could really benefit you because of everything that I share. It's well organized. You get a binder when you enroll. Your breakfast and lunch is included. We do lunch on our dinner on our own out in town. I can tell you the place that I'm renting, I've been there. I did a retreat there. It's got an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's got a hot tub. It's got huge ass bomb bedrooms. Like the kitchen is amazing. So if you're interested, I have 18 spots. It's June 10th to the 23rd. So it's 2 weeks with me intensive. And then I do 2 modules online so you can get your 200. You will practice teaching. You will practice taking the course, diving into your emotions. And I always include life coaching elements into my yoga teacher training because it's important work. So again, if you're interested, reach out, Erin@erincoach.com. I have a lot of people interested. I have 18 spots. So thank you, Susan. It's my girl looking out for me. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for stopping by, and I will talk to you next week. Namaste.